I remember when I started out filmmaking, developing an idea seemed like such a difficult thing to do, and I would get maybe like one good idea, but I had no way to take it further. I didn't have the tools to really make it into a film or even just a short video. And over the last few years making different videos, I've really learned that there are tools that can help you, really practical tools that can help you to develop your film and make it what it needs to be. And sometimes the most difficult thing is just getting inspired and getting different ideas from nowhere. And I find it's easiest to be inspired when you are surrounded by a lot of images, by a lot of ideas. If you are constantly seeing what other people are doing, not to copy them, but to learn from them and to expose yourself to different ideas and different ways of doing things. One really practical way for me is to use Instagram's save option. And I think since it came out, like I have saved hundreds, if not thousands of posts that I can go back to later, even if it's like location ideas or camera movement ideas or how to direct talent and models and actors. And you can just draw from that. And if you can have sort of this bank of imagery and videos that you can go to and be inspired when you don't have any inspiration, it really helps you. Another really good way, most of you probably do this, is spending time on Vimeo. Now, YouTube is an absolutely amazing space, but there's a different kind of video that gets made on Vimeo. It's commercial filmmaking, it's industry professionals, it's people that are really pushing the limits of filmmaking, and not even just filmmaking. If you think about every single genre of creativity, it's on there, and it's usually things that are commissioned by people. It's high budget. It's using people that are experts in the industry. And when you see how they develop ideas, when you see what kind of films they are making, you will get inspired in the same time, and you can go back to those things. I have a ton of liked videos that I go back to over time, even if it's to find people. Connecting with people that are really industry leaders is also very important, but just to push your creativity. It's the same for anything, finding spaces where you can be inspired. Online it's easy, Instagram and Vimeo and YouTube, but real life there's other spaces too, like you can go to museums, you can go to art galleries, you can just experience life as well, and from that draw stories that you can tell. Now, when it comes practically, when I'm developing films, the first thing I try to get down is my mood board. And what happens is over time, watching a lot of films, watching a lot of videos, finding Instagram photos even, I build up this reference board in my mind that I can go draw from, and then I try to create a mood board that is unique to the film that I'm making. And it helps so much when I already have these images that I can go reference. And so I take screenshots of films, I import photos. Like a lot of you will be using Pinterest, a lot of you might use Instagram, but the best way is just find as many images as possible that will explain the look and feel of your film to anyone that's trying to get involved. If you are directing, if you are making something, you need to be able to explain your idea to other people. And having images is the best way possible. Recently, a platform launched that I've been using here and there. It's called Flim. You can go online and they work with tag words that you can search. Let's say you want a reference of someone from a Wes Anderson film. All you put in is Wes Anderson, and a bunch of screenshots or reference images will come on that you can save. Or if you want a runner, you just put in runner, and a bunch of images come on from movies, from commercials, from music videos that you can then put in your own mood board. Instead of having to find individual videos that has it in them, you can just use this search system. Now, practically what I like to do next is to break my film down into scenes. If you are making a narrative film, if you are making a poetic film, any type of film that you are creating, not just documenting, this is really crucial. And when I started out, I really struggled with this. I really struggled to take my idea and break it down into the smallest detail. So it might be something that you need to train, to exercise on. And really, if you are a little bit lazy, like myself sometimes, you want to skip over the details. But you want to think to the smallest thing, what is it that I want to make in this scene? What is the scene going to be? What is the next scene going to be? The next scene, how is it going to follow? Do I have links? And so you want, and sometimes start with your beginning scene and your ending scene. Usually that's what I start with. It's usually what I have in my mind. Or if you have a moment in the middle of the film and then break away from that, that helps as well. From there, you'll want to break your scenes into shots, and some directors and some filmmakers are a little bit more relaxed about this than others, so it's really up to you. For me, I like to know what crucial shots do I want from this scene. Do I want a wide shot? Do I want a close-up of hands or this or that? So that you know when you get there on the day what you need to shoot. Otherwise, you can just show up and have no direction. And it does help to have a little bit of time and to play around, definitely. But you want to make sure your film gets made at the end of the day. So you want to know exactly what are the shots that you need to make it work. Now from there, I like to scout locations, and this can be done digitally first. I like to visit locations a lot. Even before I have film ideas, so that I can go back to it when I actually need to shoot something. It saved me so many times just because I have a love for getting to know new places, going hiking, going to take photos of random places. It again builds up this library of locations. But if you don't have that, just search the internet, see what's around, save things on Instagram, ask your friends around if they know about a place like this or a place like that. Use Google Maps if you need to, and then go visit those locations. The worst thing you can do is to pitch up on a location and you're not 100% sure what there is, what there isn't, and then to actually shoot on that day. And you also need to know how the light responds there. Where is the sunset and sunrise going to be when you're shooting there, because that affects your lighting if you're using natural light. These are all things to consider. If you're shooting indoors, you need to know if you're booking a studio, what is available to you, what isn't available to you. This can be a really fun point in developing your film. I love getting to shoot in new locations. I love scouting new locations. So if that's something, if you love seeing new places, this won't really be a problem for you. Next, you kind of want to draft up a rough schedule. More or less what days you're going to be shooting what times. Is it all in one day? Are you going to cram everything? Is it going to be rushed, or is it going to be over a few days? And then send it out to your crew and talent, see if everyone's available, and then once you have everything confirmed, you can go ahead and shoot the dang thing. The most important thing with developing ideas is that you can't have a story without putting the camera down first. If you're constantly going through life with your camera in your hand, you're not going to have like this well to draw from to actually write stories, and you're not going to be able to write stories, you're not going to be able to really draw from life experience. For me, this film I'm currently busy with started with this challenge I had with hanging out with certain people and some of them having just this attitude that they say yes to everything in life, and then some people have like constant excuses, and from that I drew from that because it frustrated me, and from that I developed a story, and then started seeing like visual ideas that can go with it and developed it. But I first needed to have that moment and live a little and really draw from your life experiences. That's what's going to make you a unique filmmaker, is drawing from your own experiences. People want to see films that are you, not someone else. Don't don't just copy someone else for the sake of copying. Like, you need to tell your own stories, and for that you need to have stories to tell. Experience life, friendships, and take note of what challenges and annoys you and what do you struggle with, and go put those things into films. So yeah, there's a lot of ways to develop ideas and stories and make films. The most important thing is just that you do it over and over again. It's with practice that you get to learn these tools and really start to get better. I'm in no way an expert at this, but I feel like I'm more and more comfortable in developing ideas from the smallest idea to the final film. I still have a lot to learn, but I think it's so important just to know what tools you have to help you develop it. At the end of the day, what is most important is that your film gets made and that it gets the attention to detail that it deserves. So keep pushing, keep working at it until you are not only happy with it, but until that idea is everything it needs to be. And I just want you guys to make films and make the things that you need to make. And I'm hoping to make more of this. I'm still figuring it out, what my style is going to be on here, what type of videos I'm going to make. Yeah, I hope you guys just follow along on the journey and keep creating amazing things. See you on the next one.
I won't slow down. I won't slow down. Falling to pieces, staring